Hello everyone, this is my first ever video tutorial and I'm going to show you today how to draw an ICC curve, that means an income consumption curve. So for that I'm going to draw two axes. So I have drawn two axes here. You can see that this is OX and this is OY. Okay, so now OX stands for quantities of product X. That means there are two different products in here, X and Y. These are quantities of two products. Okay, you can imagine that this is rice, this is lentil, or this is fuchka, this is shingara. So there are always two products. Okay, so what if a person's income increases? What happens then? We know that when income increases, we tend to purchase more. That's natural. We always do that. So if a person's income increases, he will be able to purchase two products more than ever. So that's exactly what I'm going to show here. So to draw an income consumption curve, you need to draw a budget line first. So this is a budget line. Okay, so this is a budget line. Let's put some levels like PL1 or P1L1. This stands for price line or budget line. So what is a budget line? We already know that a budget line shows a consumer's ability to purchase. So this is an optimum limit beyond which a consumer cannot purchase. So this is the ability of a person. Okay, so this is exactly what budget line shows. Now, as this is the budget line, the consumer will have an indifference curve. So what is an indifference curve and how does it look? It looks like this. So this is an indifference curve. Okay, so what does an indifference curve represents? We all know that an indifference curve is a curve. All the point of this curve represent equal level of satisfaction. So this point is the same as this point. All these points are equal in an indifference curve. So, and now we know that the point where indifference curve and budget line intersects, that is called an intersection point or equilibrium point. So this is our equilibrium point. Okay, so now imagine that the consumer's budget has increased. And why is that? Because his income increases. So if a person's income increases, he will have a new budget line. So this is a new budget line. The consumer is having a new budget line because his ability to purchase has increased. Okay, so now this new budget line can be labeled as P2 and L2, which means price line 2. So now the consumer will have a new indifference curve like this. So this is the new indifference curve. We can draw this here. All right, so we can see that as the consumer's ability to purchase has increased to a new budget line situation, he will also have a new indifference curve. So let's put some values like this is IC1. IC1 means indifference curve 1. IC2, which means indifference curve 2. So this is another intersection point. We know that the point where indifference curve and budget line intersects, that is an intersection point or equilibrium point. Okay, so we're getting two equilibrium points in here. Now suppose the consumer's income level has increased again. That's wow. So what happens then? He will have a new budget line, right? Okay, so draw this. The consumer's income has just increased again, which means he will have a new budget line. So let's draw a parallel line here. Okay, so this is our third budget line, which is definitely P3 and L3, which means price line 3. So the consumer budget line has increased and become P3L3. And we all know when a budget line comes into existence, there is always a new indifference curve, right? So let's draw it. This is the third indifference curve we are drawing here. Okay, so this is IC3, indifference curve 3. You can see that there are 3 indifference curves and 3 budget lines, and of course there are 3 intersection points, or we can say that these are 3 equilibrium points. And if we add these 3 equilibrium points, again, if we add all these 3 equilibrium points with a single line, we will get our income consumption curve. So let's just add all these points with a single line. You don't need to be accurate, okay? Just draw it roughly. Yes, so that's precisely what a curve will look like. So this is E1. E1 means equilibrium point 1. E2 means equilibrium point 2. E3 means equilibrium point 3. So if we add all these equilibrium points with a single line, this line is called our ICC curve. That means income consumption curve. Income consumption curve. Okay, so that's exactly what a curve, an ICC curve, should be drawn. I believe that all of you have got this video very useful. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.